Dr. Fairbanks, in your testimony you describe a safety-first model where you need to use the school's operating funds to fix the safety deficiencies at the school to ensure that students and staff are safe. Even though you later seek reimbursements for those expenses, you say that this process detracts from your ability to provide quality academic services. Can you describe the ways that this safety-first method of ensuring student safety affects the academic services at your school?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. The purpose of our role within the leadership in Laguna is that we do take safety very seriously. However, we are very limited with facility construction or maintenance funds. We do not receive enough in order to meet all the needs and safety concerns of our school. As I've noticed within, or as I've stated within my testimony, we've got 49 deficiencies, well over $12 million. But if there's anything that we can do in order to fund an appropriate safety measure, we will do that. However, those funds need to come out of our general fund or our administrative funds, and that in turn does detract from our academic services that we're able to invest in also. So it's a balancing act, and of course it's a matter of staying within our appropriated budgets.
And clearly, you know, you want to give the top academic experience to your students, but because of these safety issues, you're having to pull money away from that academic side, and that's obviously unacceptable. You described the current system as reactive rather than proactive. What recommendations do you have for making the system more proactive?
Well, I believe, Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. I believe the system needs to be streamlined. And again, if we can plan and anticipate any potential problems or hazards to our students throughout the system itself, I think would be very appropriate in addressing all of these concerns. Again, being proactive rather than reactive.
Thank you. Mr. Roman knows I agree with you that in order to address many of the safety issues related to gangs, to violence, bullying, and substance abuse, we need more involvement from tribal communities. In what ways do you think tribal communities and the schools could partner to address some of the safety issues related to violence within their communities?
I think there's several ways. One that comes to mind as a school board member of Riverside Indian School in Anadarko, Oklahoma, I would like to see more training with school board members and make this information more available to the public and to parents. It's a very difficult system to get information to parents, especially if you reside in a residential school. But I think more outreach to parents and tribal officials, school board members needs to be in order. These are very complicated issues, and I think the BIE needs tribal input in all areas. Thank you.
Before I close the hearing, I want to just make two comments. As Chairman Dorgan said, the reporting on these issues out in New Mexico and in other places, I think, has been very helpful in terms of moving us forward, exposing the problems that are out there, the deficiencies, the safety issues, and helping all of us address these and move down the road. And secondly, I want to echo what Secretary Echohawk said. It seems to me the key, I mean, both of these witnesses here and the previous witnesses were focusing on education, but the real key is in healthy families in these Native communities. And we've got to get employment into these communities. And if you have communities, which we do on the Navajo Reservation, with unemployment of 50%, or in some other Pueblo communities higher than that, 60 and 70% unemployment, I don't see how you can have stable families. And so one of the policy efforts has to be how do we get capital, how do we get investment, how do we get economic development within these Native communities so that people in these communities can get a good job and support their families. And it seems to me the core of this in terms of healthy families is people being able to get a job. We recently had a hearing. Chairman Dorgan brought up one of Senator Inouye's bills that talked about setting up a bank or an organization to push capital and investment into Native communities. And I think that's part of this issue also that we need to address. So with that, I thank both of the witnesses for being here. Secretary Echohawk, thank you for staying over and hearing these witnesses. You know your message is heard when the Secretary stays here, and we appreciate your support staff being here. And with that, I will adjourn the hearing. Hearing is adjourned.